Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, it is going to be another The Best Of. And I'm going to be looking at the absolute best moment in every Batman movie. Quick little disclaimer, I am only looking at theatrically released Batman movies because if we delved into the animated side of things, there's just far too many to cover. At least in this video. Who knows, maybe sometime down the road I will do a best moment in every animated Batman movie. There's also a few other little exclusions that won't be making the cut for this video either. Those being Justice League 2017, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Batman the Killing Joke, which did have a very limited theatrical release. However, that still does leave us with like 11 movies to cover and lots of moments to look back on fondly. I also wanted to issue right here, right now, a major spoiler warning. Yes, I will be mentioning some spoilers in these best of moments, and some of those spoilers will also be pertaining to the recently released The Batman. So, major spoiler warning, one last time, you have been warned. Before I hop into the actual content itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my best of videos. There's not many in there right now, but there's one other, and I have plenty of other playlists as well that you can check out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, without further ado, let's hop right into things. Batman the Movie. Okay, look, I didn't grow up on this movie, so I don't really have any nostalgia for it. If I watch it now, it's mostly just for laughs. I really could have picked any campy or goofy scene, so I ended up picking my favorite. And I decided to go with Batman running with the bomb. There's no real rhyme or reason for it. I just find it hilarious. The way he runs with it, how comically big the bomb is, it's all just so funny. Batman 1989. This flick is iconic. Truly some of Tim Burton's, Michael Keaton's, Jack Nicholson's, and Danny Elfman's finest work, with so many memorable moments to pick from. Nicholson's transformation, the introduction to the Batmobile, the ending parade, they're all just so good. But for this flick, I'm going to go with a scene that's fairly early on in the movie. Our first introduction to Michael Keaton's Batman. Seeing that iconic costume for the first time, ominous and sinister, striking fear into these dirtbags. Then he hits us with one of the simplest and most well-known lines in history. I'm Batman. Chills every time. So damn good. Batman Returns. Batman Returns, I believe, is just as good, if not better than Batman 1989 at times, with so many scenes that I simply adore. Penguin's goons crashing the big speech with the Christmas backdrop, Penguin's backstory, Selina Kyle's transformation, or really any of the final portion of the movie. I will be going with Batman and Catwoman's first fight. But really everything surrounding it too, the whole 5 or so minute sequence. We get to see Michelle Pfeiffer being absolutely iconic and putting that whip to good use, a little bit of Batman fighting, Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and then Batman and Catwoman finally throwing down. Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is truly an exceptional animated movie. It's a classic now, but flopped at the box office back in the day. Despite its shorter runtime, there are countless memorable scenes worth mentioning here. The one I have decided to focus on, though, is the big twist reveal of who is behind the titular Mask of the Phantasm. It's a pretty well-known twist nowadays, but back then, it was quite shocking and surprisingly bold of an animated kids movie to pull something like this off. Batman Forever. Similar to the 1960s movie and another that will follow this on this list, I don't care very much for this movie at all. The only time you'll catch me watching it is for a bit of nostalgia and a good laugh. Although there is one sequence that's actually not that bad. The whole "why can't you just die" bit. Batman makes a big entrance, kicks a whole bunch of ass, Jim Carrey's Riddler narrates the whole thing, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face spouts a bunch of incoherent noises and some one-liners, then he tries to blow Batman up / set him ablaze, but the Dark Knight just keeps on coming back. Batman and Robin. Funny enough, despite the 30-year gap, this one is pretty much in the same boat as the 1966 Batman the movie. I really do only watch this one for laughs, and I don't even really watch it for that reason either all that often. It's one of the campiest, goofiest, and just plain worst movies I've ever seen. So this one is really more so about picking a so bad it's good kind of moment. I mean, that is pretty much the entire movie. You could go with any time that Ernie is on screen as Mr. Freeze, or Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, the suiting up scene. I could really go with any one of them. However, I will be going with the bidding war between Batman and Robin for the love of Poison Ivy, which ends with the life-changing reveal of the existence of a Bat credit card that he never leaves the cave without. Simply cinema. Batman Begins. This movie is phenomenal. The only thing I don't like are the action sequences and a few decisions that don't feel very Batman-like, but aside from that, I love it. I could have chosen the reveal of the Batman, the training on ice, really anything with Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, or really any portion of the final act of the movie set within Gotham coated with the fear toxin. For this one though, I will be going with the Tumbler escape, and for those of you who don't know, the Tumbler is the name of the Batmobile in the Dark Knight trilogy. Seeing that thing in action for the first time, scaling rooftops, and escaping the police was truly exhilarating and something I will really never forget. The Dark Knight. This one by far took me the longest to decide. I flipped back and forth between 3 separate scenes that I feel to be the standouts in this masterpiece of a movie. I could have just said the whole movie in all honesty, but I narrowed it down to the truck chase / flip, the opening bank heist, and the interrogation scene. And in the end, I think I'm going to have to go with the interrogation scene. They're all equally iconic, but in having to choose just one, I do believe this one to be the most impactful. The brilliant verbal exchange between Batman and the Joker, Batman just letting loose, Joker pulling back the curtain and revealing what's behind, all while poisoning Batman's mind, telling him he's going to have to break his one rule. The Joker laughing maniacally while being absolutely beaten, Batman's iconic screams of "where are they?" Bale and Ledger really left it all in there, and it is truly magnificent. The Dark Knight Rises. It's no secret that I love this movie. I ranked it 2 in my Every Batman Movie Ranked, which apparently was pretty controversial, but I still totally stand by it. There are so many moments I adore. The opening sequence, Batman's return, Bane's utter beatdown of Batman, the whole final fight, Batman's supposed sacrifice, or even those closing shots. For Nolan's trilogy conclusion, however, I will be going with what we believe to be Bane enacting his ultimate plan. Or as I like to call it, Gotham's Reckoning. Kicking off with the football field sequence, seeing the bridges being blown up and collapsed, all of the police officers underground being trapped like rats, and Officer Blake experiencing all the devastation on the streets. It's truly shocking to see all of this chaos erupting, and Gotham being torn apart in a matter of moments. A jaw-dropping sequence that still has me in awe to this very day. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Yeah, I'm going to be going with the warehouse scene. No explanation needed for this one. It is easily by far the best live-action Batman action sequence we have ever gotten. Fast-paced, brutal, creative, and hard-hitting. Batman uses his fists, gadgets, and brilliant mind to dispatch of a floor full of dirtbags, with extreme prejudice. Sure, some of them were definitely just violently murdered in front of our eyes, but this scene just kicks so much ass. The Lego Batman Movie. I'm not as big of a fan of the Lego Batman movie as many out there seem to be. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy this movie, but there are some mega fans out there who would rank it above many of the live action movies, and I'm just simply not one of them. And that's totally cool by me. I'm not knocking anyone. You like what you like. It's all just opinions. The scene I have chosen to go with for the best of this movie, and the one that likely makes me chuckle the most, because this movie is admittedly pretty funny, is the introduction to all of this movie's villains. What starts off with Joker simply trying to hijack a plane, quickly veers into quick cuts introducing all of this movie's many Lego versions of villains. Joker starts by rhyming off all of the traditional villains that you would expect, you know, the classics, but as he goes on and on, he dives deeper into Batman's more goofier and outlandish foes. To which the pilot asks, "Are you making some of those up?" Joker then responds with, "Nope, they're all real and you can look it up," which I've always found to be a little clever wink to the audience. The Batman. I know this movie is still fairly new and there's probably plenty of people out there who haven't even seen it yet. but it is fantastic. Really, a phenomenal entry into Batman's live-action catalog. So many great scenes to choose from. The unforgettable and chilling opening with the Riddler, the opening montage in Gotham, Gil Colson's game of riddles, the highway chase, the tender moment between Bruce and Alfred, the interrogation scene, or the final act where Riddler's master plan is enacted. Sadly, I can only choose just one, so I think I'm going to have to go with the opening montage in Gotham. It just screams Batman to me. It's a side of the character I don't feel we've ever actually fully gotten in live action, and it's what I've always wanted from the character. I mean, the guy dresses like a bat to strike fear into his enemies, and that is perfectly captured here. The stellar score from Michael Giacchino, the narration from Pattinson, the exploration of this new Gotham. I love seeing how the bat signal shining in the sky has the scumbags of Gotham shitting in their pants and absolutely terrified of the dark. If you wanted to throw in the utter beatdown of the face-painted goons as part of this sequence as well, then that's just the cherry on top. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my picks for the best moments of every Batman movie. While you're at it, feel free to let me know what your favorite moments are from each of the Batman movies. And don't forget to suggest what best of you'd like to see me cover next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you. And while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.